friends. I am here to share the story Violet the Pilot with you again. So remember, we've already read this story once. We know the title is Violet the Pilot, and the author and illustrator, the person who wrote the words and drew the pictures, is Steve Breen. And remember, Violet was a little girl who was different than the other children in her community and at her school. She really liked to build things. And a lot of times, if you remember in this story, the other kids teased Violet. They made fun of her because she liked to do different things than them. And I'm wondering, how did it make Violet feel when the other kids teased her? Let's read and find out. Everyone in town knew that Violet Van Winkle was a little different. For starters, she and her parents lived in an odd, kind of strange looking house next to the junkyard her father managed. Remember, a junkyard is a place where people bring things to throw away that are maybe too big to put in the garbage. And while other girls were playing with dolls and tea sets, Violet played with monkey wrenches and needle nose pliers. I'm noticing, even though Violet's alone and she's playing by herself, she looks really happy in this picture. She must enjoy building things and enjoy being by herself. Violet was a mechanical genius. That means she was really good at building machines. By the time she was 2, she could fix almost any broken appliance in the house. By 4, she could take apart the grandfather clock and completely reassemble it. Reassemble means put back together. Since she didn't have any friends aside from her dog Orville, she would spend hours tinkering with things from the yard. Violet's parents were very proud of her, although they weren't too happy about the time she put a lawnmower engine on her cousin's tricycle. I'm wondering, it seems like Violet spends an awful lot of time by herself. She does have her dog there with her, but I'm wondering if Violet ever gets lonely. I wonder if she wishes that she could play with the other kids in the neighborhood. The older she got, the more interesting Violet's creations became. Around the time she turned 8, she was building elaborate, very complicated machines from scratch. When you make something from scratch, you start from the very beginning. You have nothing to go with, and you build it all up yourself. And not just any old machines. So Violet's worked really hard to become good at building these things. And I'm thinking she's very proud of herself. She feels very good about what she can do. Flying machines. Her parents couldn't believe their eyes when they saw Violet zoom by the first time. They were a little worried in the beginning, but they quickly saw that she was a pretty good pilot. "Careful not to hit the house," Violet's father would yell, "and put on a sweater," her mother would add. Violet used anything she could find in the junkyard to make her wonderful contraptions. Her contraptions are machines. There was the tub bubbler and the bike copter, the rocket can, the pogo plane, the slide glider, and the wingamajig, to name a few. Violet's engineering, so her building, her making machines, was pretty sound. So when they say that it's sound, that means that her machines were very good. They worked really well. The only real hazards were tall trees, piles of junk in the yard, and bugs in her teeth. Kids at school would see Violet eating lunch alone and make fun of her strange books and greasy coveralls. Claude and Clyde Mulrooney were especially obnoxious. They were really rude. I think even though Violet's trying to ignore the kids who are teasing her, I'm thinking she's a little bit sad about it. Even if you tried to ignore it, I think it would hurt your feelings if someone teased you. Then, one day, Violet noticed a poster in the drugstore window. "Air Show, October 20th, it read. That's only 2 weeks away, Violet thought. Can kids fly in the show? Is homemade aircraft allowed? Aircraft is different types of airplanes. That night, Violet sat in her room thinking about the air show. She knew it would be a good feeling if one of her planes won a prize, and maybe then the kids at school would be nice to her. Violet pictured exactly where she would hang her blue ribbon. So Violet's thinking this is her chance to show her talent to all of the other kids and show them the amazing things that she can do and what a great engineer she is. She and Orville spent the next few days combing, searching the junkyard for the right materials. When they had collected a giant pile of stuff, the building began. One day, the Mulrooney twins happened to pass by. "Look, it's that girl from school," one of them said. "What are you doing, weirdo?" "I'm building an airplane," she told them. The twins exploded in laughter. They went, "Ha ha 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 ha," then mumbled something mean as they walked away. Orville barked at the boys, but Violet just went back to her project. "Take it easy, buddy," she said. "We're too busy to worry about them." So Violet is determined to finish her flying machine. And even though it probably hurts her feelings that those boys are making fun of her, she is not going to let that stop her because she really wants that blue ribbon. Finally, after days of hard work, Violet had finished making her flying machine. She named the magnificent craft the Hornet. "Wait till the people in the grandstand see me flying in this," Violet said to Orville. The test flight was a success. On the day of the big air show, Violet took off, bursting with excitement. Her parents' faces had beamed with pride as they wished her luck, and she thought about that as she flew through the clear autumn sky. She calculated, so she did the math to figure out how long it would take, that the trip would take about 20 minutes. She would arrive just in time for the start of the show. Look at Violet's face. She looks so proud. I'm thinking she is certain that she's going to win the blue ribbon, and she is going to be so proud when everybody sees her engineering and her amazing flying machine. Suddenly, something caught Violet's eye. She noticed something. In the river below, a group of people were waving frantically. Violet lowered her altitude to get a better look. A troop of Boy Scouts had run into trouble while canoeing. Violet knew she had to help fast. Oh my goodness. So even though Violet is going to the air show and she really wants that blue ribbon and she really wants everybody to see and appreciate her engineering, she knows she can't leave these people in the river. That would be the wrong thing to do. So I think Violet's going to stop and help them because she wants to do the right thing. It wasn't easy rescuing all the boys, but Violet piloted, she flew her plane, the Hornet with careful precision. So she flew it into just the right spots to get all of the people out of the river. Saving the Scoutmaster from going over the falls was particularly dangerous. So something that's dangerous is not safe. Violet dropped the grateful, thankful Scouts off at the hospital. Then she checked her watch. 3:30, she said to Orville sadly. "We've missed the air show." She turned her plane toward home and sighed. It was a miserable feeling. It was really, really sad. So I'm thinking, Violet is really disappointed. She missed her chance to show all of the other kids and everyone at the air show how amazing her engineering is. That evening, Violet had no appetite for dinner. She was not hungry. She just went upstairs and sat on her bed. All of a sudden, she heard lots of noise outside the house. She and Orville went to the window and discovered that a crowd of people had gathered. Somebody spotted her. "There's Violet," the boy shouted jubilantly. "There's our hero!" So a hero is someone who helps other people. The Van Winkles stepped outside, squinting from all the flash bulbs that were popping. The press, the mayor, the fire, and police chiefs, even kids and teachers from school had all learned of the rescue that day and had come to praise her. So when you praise someone, you tell them how proud you are of them. "Young lady, please accept this Medal of Valor," that means bravery, "as a token of our gratitude and esteem," said the mayor. And he gave Orville a new collar with a license that read K9 Hero. So I'm thinking Violet is really proud because finally everyone is recognizing her special talent. Even though she didn't go to the air show and she didn't get the recognition that way, she saved these Boy Scouts and her community is really grateful and proud of her. From that day on, Violet's parents let her fly whenever she wanted, but her mom still made her wear a sweater. So boys and girls, at the beginning of this story, I said, I wonder how Violet feels when the other kids tease her. So now it's your turn to say what you think and what you learned from reading the story. How did Violet feel when the other kids teased her?